Hello, this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're doing perimeter, area and volume, and we're going to start the topic today by looking at units of length. So the types of units that we're going to be looking at are millimeters, given the symbol mm, little m, centimeters, which is cm, meters, which is m, and kilometers, which is little km. Now if we want to convert between those units, I'm going to draw some arrows going up between each one of these and then also coming back down the other way. Now these units are getting bigger as I go along the line here. So there are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. So if I want to go from millimeters to centimeters, I need to divide by 10. There are 100 centimeters in a meter, so I would have to divide by 100 to convert from centimeters to meters. And there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer, so I would have to divide by 1,000. But if I had kilometers and I wanted to go back the other direction to meters, I would need to times by 1,000. And from meters to centimeters, times by 100, and centimeters to millimeters, times by 10. Now, if you can remember this diagram, you can use it to help you convert between your units of length. So let me show you how to do that. In the examples here, number 1, convert each of the following. 2.8 centimeters is equal to how many millimeters? So we're starting with centimeters, we're starting here, and we want to get to millimeters, which means I need to follow the arrow that goes this direction. Okay, so that means I have to multiply by 10. Now, wherever possible, I'm going to be doing these without a calculator. So to multiply something by 10, all I have to do is move the decimal point one place to the right, making it bigger. So jumping over one spot would make that 28 millimeters. You can, of course, use your calculator to check if you are worried. For B, we want 0.4 kilometers to be changed into centimeters. So we're starting with the kilometer measurement and we want to get all the way down here to centimeters. We actually want to go 2 jumps. So that is timesing by 1,000 and then timesing by 100. Now the easiest way to do this is to count up the total number of zeros that you want to multiply by. I have 1, 2, 3, lots of 10 here, 4, 5. So there's 5 altogether, which means I need to move the decimal point 5 places to the right. So I would use 1 jump to jump over that 4. So that would be 1. Because there's no more numbers to jump, I would add the rest of them in zeros. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 0.4 kilometers is 40,000 centimeters. Let's look at C. 340 meters that I want to convert into kilometers. Meters, I'm going this direction now towards kilometers. So now I am dividing by 1,000. There's 3 zeros here, so that means I need to go backwards because I'm dividing 3 places for the decimal point. Now the decimal point, if there isn't one, would be here at the end of the number. So I want to jump back 3 places. 1 would be over the 0, 2, 3. Puts the decimal point right in front of the 3. So 0.34. I don't need to write that 0 there at the end. So 0.34 kilometers. D, 46,800 millimeters into meters. So starting with millimeters, I want to do 2 jumps over to get to meters. Divide by 10, divide by 100. Altogether, 3 zeros, so 3 jumps backwards because I'm dividing. The decimal point would be here at the end, so 3 jumps back would be 1, 2, 3. Putting the decimal point between the the 6 and the 8, making the answer 46.8 meters. Okay, so that's just straight converting of units. Now we want to do a few more, slightly more practical questions over here. Question 2, express 15 centimeters and 7 millimeters as a single number measured in millimeters. Okay, so I want my answer in millimeters. That means that both of these need to be in millimeters. This one already is, so I need to change this one. So 15 centimeters to millimeters, I need to times by 10, which in this case means adding a 0 on. So that will be 150 millimeters. So if I want to put these two numbers together, I really have 150 millimeters plus another 7 millimeters, which gives me a total of 157 millimeters. Question 3, order the measurements in order from shortest to longest. The most accurate way to do this is to write each of your measurements with the same unit. Okay, so all of them in meters, for example. Okay, that's what I'm going to do for this question. I'm going to change them all into meters. So this number here, 300,000 centimeters. If I want to change centimeters into meters, I have to divide by 100. That means there's 2 zeros. I need to go back 2 places, put the decimal point there. So that will make 3,000 meters. The next one, I have millimeters. Again, I want to get to meters. So that means divide by 10 and divide by 100. Altogether 3 jumps there, going backwards. 1, 2, 3. Put the decimal point here, making it 3200 meters. This one's already in meters. I don't have to do anything to that. And the last one, 0.31 kilometers into meters. I need to times by 1,000. So that means 3 jumps going to the right. 1, 2, and because there's no more numbers to jump for the third one, I put down a 0. Okay, so now that everything is in meters, it's easy to see that this is the smallest. Okay, so the smallest number is 0.31 kilometers. Okay, so even though I've changed that, I'm still going to write my answer using these numbers up the top here. So that one is the shortest. Next out of these would be this one because it's in the 2000s. Those ones are both 3,000. So that would be 2,980 meters is next. Then out of these two numbers, 3,000 is smaller. So that would be 300,000 centimeters. And finally, 320,000 millimeters would be the longest measurement. Question 4, insert a less than or greater than symbol to make each statement true. Again, it's easiest if you have them in the same units before you compare them. So I prefer to have big numbers without decimal places. So that would mean that I would change this one here into meters. Changing kilometers into meters, I times by 1,000. So that's 3 zeros. 1 would jump over the 7. 2, 3 would be zeros that I would add on the end. So 0.7 of a kilometer is 700 meters. So it's easy to see that 760 is bigger than 700 meters. So that means I need the symbol to go that direction. 760 meters is greater than 0.7 kilometers. For B, 250 centimeters and 3.1 meters. Okay, so again, let's change the bigger unit so that we can hopefully get rid of the decimal places. So meters to centimeters. Meters to centimeters, we times by 100. 2 zeros, 2 jumps. 1 to get over there, and the second one, excuse me, will be a 0. 250 centimeters is smaller than 310, so we need to put a less than symbol in there. Question 5. George swims 15 laps of a 50-meter pool. How far does he swim in kilometers? Well, we need to work out what 15 lots of 50 is. Now this, again, you could do this with a calculator, but because we can also do it without. So I'm going to do that over here. 15, I'm just going to times it by 5, because then all we would need to do is add the 0 for the 50. So let's just multiply 15 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 more is 7. Okay, so 15 times 5 is 75. Because it was a 50, we're going to have an extra 0 on the end of that. Now, because this was in meters, that's going to be 750 meters. If I want to know how far he swims in kilometers, I now need to change that into kilometers. Meters to kilometers, follow the arrow. I want to divide by 1,000. That means jumping backwards 3 places. 1, 2, 3. Puts the decimal point in front of the 7. 0.75 kilometers is the answer. Okay, so that's the end of our examples today. Time for you to practice what I've just shown you. See if you can remember how to do it for yourself. I'd like you to pause the video and try these questions, and then you can restart the video to see the answers. So for question 1, we are converting some units here. So to go from millimeters to centimeters, you need to divide by 10, which means I need to go 1 decimal point backwards, making that 7.28 centimeters. In B, 0.038 kilometers to meters. Now, kilometers to meters, we need to times by 1,000. That's 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3 places will make that 38 meters. For C, 0.62 meters to millimeters, that's 2 jumps. We have to times that by 100 and then by 10. So that altogether, that's 3 zeros, 3 places to jump. 1, 2, the third one will have to be a 0 that I'm going to add on the end, 620 millimeters. And for D, we want to go from this very large measurement in centimeters to kilometers. So that is 2 jumps again. We first of all have to go to meters, which is dividing by 100, and then dividing by 1,000. Altogether, that is 5 zeros.